Welcome back to the Stoop Football Fans. It's boy Lolo, and we just got done watching Wolves versus Chelsea. Thomas Tuchel Part 1. Mark here, a Wolves fan. We have Naji here, a Chelsea fan. I don't know about you guys, but I'm very proud of Thomas Tuchel. He survived the first 45 minutes without getting sacked. And then he went on and doubled his record and got the full 90. And you know what? As of this moment, about 30 minutes after the match, he's still the Chelsea manager. So give it up for that. There you go. But it was a sort of lackluster game where Wolves came in with their main game plan, which is to play very Wolvesy right now, which is to
hang on the best they can.
Just hang on and not let the other team score, hopefully get some counterattacks. But the counterattacks were weak sauce. Chelsea had their opportunities, but it still needs some sights tweaked on those boots, because I know Kai Havertz had a chance. Giroud was in there with a couple maybe ifs, but once again, hard to make every chance matter when you're playing against a Wolves side that's locked in the wolf den back there.
Yeah, we definitely were locked in the wolf den back there.
So you guys clearly don't want to hear from the Arsenal fan in all this. So so let's go right to Chelsea with Naji. Let's go right to Naji with Chelsea. Naji. I've been listening to this guy for the last 45 minutes, so I'm ready to hear anybody else talk about this match, and then we'll get to him. So Naji, tell me your overall thoughts on the match and Thomas Tuchel's first foray into the Premier League.
Hey guys, how are you? Well, first of all, in his first game in charge, Tuchel did change the formation, which was great to see. You know, he played with a 3-4-3, and actually, Tuchel did drop the three English players to start with: Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham, and Reece James from the starting lineup, and he went with experienced players, as you could see. He played with Jorginho back in the side, Giroud was back in the side, Thiago Silva was back in the side, and Azpilicueta was back, the captain. So he went with experience, and as you can see from the back line, we had between Azpilicueta, Rudiger, and Thiago Silva, we had 94 years of experience on the field there.
Yeah, when I saw the lineup, I was like, this is exactly what I would do if like somebody gave me FIFA 21 and I still have FIFA 17. So I'm like, okay, I'll be Chelsea. Who the fuck are these guys? No. Why do I have Thiago Silva on there? Get him in there. Get him in. Giroud, who's Tammy
Yeah, this
Abraham?
is not a stat line that I would expect to hear talking about this game. That's how boring this game was. We're talking about years of experience on the Chelsea squad.
Well, okay. All right, let's let him finish. So he did put some experience in there.
And the nice thing was he had Kai Havertz on a 10, like he was playing as a 10 in that side. He was everywhere. He had the freedom to go from left to right, center, you know. So Kai Havertz was free. That was great. You know, he gave him the confidence back. He's like, Kai, go ahead, do your thing, you know. So he was on the ball a lot in the first half. The second half, he disappeared a little bit, you know. Hudson-Odoi was playing for the first time as a wing-back, you know.
Dude, he was good. He was good the whole match. I thought
Hudson-Odoi was man of the match today.
Absolutely.
Man of the match. He tracked back when he had to. He was causing Wolves a lot of nightmare, you know, on the wing.
Yeah.
Crossing balls.
Aitniori is going to be having nightmares tonight about Hudson-Odoi, which is, by the way, a new player I learned today because he was so prominent in the attack, you know, from that right side.
Where was he? Where did he play before? He was like a left back or something?
Like if Chelsea want to play 4-3-3, he was the 3 at the front.
Okay, gotcha. So this had him playing some defense as well.
Yeah, he tracked back. When Wolves were on the counter, you know, he was tracking back, trying to get the ball back, and that was great, you know, to see.
Awesome.
It was at the end of the day, it was a frustrating game. You know, Chelsea were 80 possession of the ball. Wolves had, you know, 20% of the ball, and that was the plan by Nuno. You know, we all know that, and they were trying to get on the counter. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for them. But it was a frustrating night for Chelsea.
Yeah.
And I think it was a fair result at the end.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What are your initial thoughts, Mr. Wolf?
Well, my thoughts for one, watching this new Chelsea coach, I felt like I was on a telemedicine examination. I was expecting him to pull out a chart and start reading it to me. I don't like the way this looks. We are going to have to do no more tests.
He looks like a doctor.
He looks like a doctor that is about to deliver you some bad news. And like, I don't know at the half, like if he had to use the facilities, but he was off like a dart when that whistle blew. He was like at the tunnel waiting. Like, I think he had to use the restroom.
What about that moment with Mason Mount?
Yeah, I'm not sure what I saw, and here we are. We're supposed to be talking Wolves here, but this is what I'm watching.
But it was so boring. Let's talk about the fun stuff.
So they're ready to bring on Mason Mount, and he's talking with them. Tuchel's talking to him, but Mason Mount kind of turns this, and I swear to God, Tuchel reaches over and grabs his ear for a quick second, and like, here, here, buddy.
I'm talking to you. You come back here now.
As far as the Wolves guys, I was really happy to see Podence back. I don't think he was that effective, but you got to have the ball to be able to do something. The same thing, we got our chance to say Willian Jose play. He got about 20 minutes on the pitch. Didn't get to see much there. I think Semedo played really well on Havertz. He gets a lot of slack. Or flack from being a really poor defender, and I think Semedo played very, very well, holding down that side. Aitnayori was awful, and I don't think Kayana Hover was much, but maybe he was a little bit better. But I'm very happy with the point. I would have liked to have gotten two more. We were so overdue for any sort of points.
Yeah, but dude, look, I'm sorry, I'm just looking up the stats right now, but Chelsea had 12 corners.
Yeah.
So once again,
and we defended them well because we've got height back. The Donker is back. He's 6'2".
5 shots on target.
Willian Jose, 6'2". Willy Bali is back. He's 6 forever. We're getting our height back, and we can defend those corners much better. And I think the Wolves did a really great job.
Yeah,
Talking about corners, you're right. We have 12 corners, but Ziyech, his delivery was very poor today. He couldn't lift the ball past the first post, which is really bad. When Mason Mount came in, he delivered I think 3 corner kicks. One of them almost went in at the last minute, I think Chelsea today didn't test Rui Patricio. They didn't test him much.
5 shots on target, though.
I don't think they had an opportunity.
He had a couple of saves, but nothing
almost the entire team is in the box.
Yeah, and Tuchel, I think he left his substitution very, very late. I mean, I could have done it at the 60th minute. He waited too long. Mason Mount had to be there earlier. Ziyech having a poor game. I think Ziyech should have been out earlier. Mason Mount included a lot of energy, added a lot of flair to the game. They almost scored when Mason Mount came in.
Yeah.
I felt that way. And then Tammy, he got a fair amount of minutes, under his belt. But overall, like I said, it was a frustrating game for Chelsea. But we should be happy. It's 0-0. It's a new coach, new formation.
Definitely.
So
I want to ask you about the lineup, the specific who's in, who's out. 2 things that were the most, not really surprising, but that I took note of the most. First of all, Timo Verner on the bench. Doesn't even come in as a sub.
Yeah.
The second is Jorginho. So Jorginho, I feel like I haven't seen him all season. When last season or the season before, I think it was Sarri was building the team around him.
Right.
And then Frank was like, I don't like this dude or something. And so he came in and he had a fairly good game. He
had a very good game. Jorginho was there to control the tempo.
Yeah.
He does some dirty works also, in terms of protecting the ball. He's not the best defenders we have, but he was there to control the tempo. That's why he was in, As for what's the second player you asked me about?
Timo Werner.
Timo
So
Werner,
you see
I
the
think he's
German
lacking
coach coming
confidence,
in.
Right, he's lacking confidence. He was like, okay, let me play with wingers, Hudson-Odoi and Ziyech, and then put Giroud in the middle, so maybe they could cross the ball.
Yeah.
You know, Giroud.
It was
we
a
all
good
know
plan.
Giroud.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
It's a good plan.
That was the plan.
Especially
but
when you know you're going to spend so much time in Wolves territory
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they're going to play back.
Yeah.
You might as well have somebody big lingering in the box the whole
Yeah,
time. They just couldn't get the crosses
I
in
just
there.
want to give Tuchel credit for the introduction of Pulisic. Guys, he had Chilwell as a left back, as a left wing back. He's a defensive player, you know. He pulls him out and put Pulisic in with like 12 minutes left to go. You know, I was under pressure because, you know, I mean, it's an offensive player, but he like, credit to him to going to win the game. You know, he wanted to win the game. Credit to him. I really like this mentality, you know.
Yeah. It was there to be won, and in all honesty, there were a couple times where a ball fell to a Chelsea man in the box, and it was muffed. And who was it? It was Chilwell, because you know it's a defender, and what is the defender doing? The last one to touch the ball. Now, he's in great spot. If he scores it, we're like, brilliant.
Right.
But in the end, when he kicks it and it goes off, you don't
hit the target. Hit the target.
He missed the ball. I think he just missed the ball.
I think he missed the ball.
And I was like,
too,
who is that?
Who's this kid?
It's Ben Chilwell, the defender.
The only thing also, what I wanted to say, I forgot.
Sorry, we're free
He's
flowing.
so excited.
We're free flowing here.
He's so excited to have a new manager for Chelsea that he's forgotten. As much as 2 weeks ago, you were showing all the love for Frank Lampard.
The only thing I had to say that, you know who comes next? Burnley. Is not gonna get any better for Chelsea. You know, Burnley won today 3-2.
And they played very well against a very good Aston Villa side. That Villa side, I was watching that match as well.
They are no pushover. They are
it was
tough,
shocking.
serious team.
It was shocking.
I've never seen Burnley score 3 goals in a game.
Ever. But don't count them out. They're surging up. They're going to be surging up the table. Them and Leeds United, who are just quietly knocking teams off. Meanwhile, Aston Villa has all these games in hand. And a moment ago, had they won all their games in hand, they would have been like second place.
Right.
Yeah. And now they've lost 2 of those game in hands, I think.
Yeah.
Or one normal one game.
I think.
Anyway, they're only like 2 game in hands left. So Villa, look out! I mean, they have a really good team. I don't understand how they keep dropping points.
I know.
When I play fantasy, I'm always picking people off of them because they have.
But I didn't see any Chelsea player lacking confidence today.
No. Nope. Now that's why I expected Chelsea to come out and actually go like 3-2. Like I expected it to be a high-scoring game because the new manager lift, new players were coming in. It's a burst of excitement at least for a couple weeks, and we may see that next week against Burnley.
I think given a little more
he
time,
had a day.
Chelsea's going to be great.
He had a day.
I think they're going to be just fine.
And I do think Thomas Tuchel is the right man for the job for now.
For the next 18 months.
For the next 18 months. Until he wins a trophy.
He's definitely the anti-Frank Lampard.
So, talking about new players coming in, I wanted to talk about Willian Jose, who you guys just got from Sociedad. He is probably the answer to a lot of your problems.
I think so.
He's huge. He's massive. Yeah.
And he's had
strong.
about as much time with the Wolves as
Tuchel
did with Chelsea.
Except Tuchel didn't have to do a medical.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is...
He gave the medical.
Okay, I'm here to do my own medical. I am fit to be coach. But I think Willian Jose can solve a lot of the problems. He was kind of a fantastic signing to fill that Raul Jimenez role because you are missing him so much. Because right now you're playing a defensive counterattack with no counterattack.
Right, exactly.
Traore disappears because there's nobody.
I think that people can exactly.
So now you have a big, strong guy who's actually in fantastic form. I think his last match at Sociedad he had a hat trick or a brace.
He had a brace.
So
he scores once every 3 games. He scores once every 3.
And that's what you need.
We will take it, and it is it's going to be exciting.
I don't think Jimenez is coming back this season. I don't.
Well,
think so.
you know, there's word that has been in the press the last couple of days that he is going to come back this season. That Nuno feels very positive that he's coming back this season. This Wolves fan, despite all the chatter and all the press that I've read, I do not think Raul Jimenez is coming back to the Wolves this season. I think it would be foolish to put him back in after such an injury, because, you know, once he, you know, and he's going to have his little Pop Warner football helmet on, which is fine.
We had the same injury with Peter Cech.
Yeah.
So, you know, and it took Cech like a long time before he came back, you know, and he had, you know, the helmet for the rest of his career.
And a goalie isn't one who uses their head most of the time. Raul Jimenez uses his head all the time.
He uses his head a lot in more ways than one.
Even if he's back this season, in what form, in what shape, you're gonna be timid.
And that is why I don't want to see him in there. I don't want him to kind of lose that edge that he's already established himself with. And just for sake of let's let it heal. We're not getting back up. We're not going to compete for anything. I hate to say it.
No, man, it's still wide open.
We're not competing for a top 5 spot.
Arsenal's competing for the title, so
you guys are not going to get there. But
I don't care.
We're
still in contention.
Hey, you guys are looking much better than we are.
We're in contention.
You know. But no, I don't want Raul Jimenez to come back. No, actually, let me restate that. I would love to see him back. I think it would be foolish to put him in there, not until the beginning of next season.
I would say overall, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Well done. You got a point. You played better, I would say. You got some things to tighten up, and he will do it. He's kind of the perfect coach for that. Wolves, I think you got to take the 1 point because
we take the 4 points for the season.
4 points for the season. Oh, good. There you go. At least
right.
we got a little trash talking.
We got 4 points out of Chelsea this year.
At least we got a little trash talking now.
In the 94th minute.
Hey, we'll take it any way we can get it. A win is a win.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming out and talking to each other. I wish one of y'all's teams would have won, so one of you could be a bit more aggressive. But we'll see. Maybe next time we get one of these going. But thank you, Mark, for being here. Thank you, Naji, for calling in on your lunch break. Don't forget to like and subscribe and write in the comments and click the bell. You'll be notified anytime we got a new video coming out. All right, peace.